Very much, guys. And you too, congrats on making it through round 2. I'm reading my notes right now, and I started writing this interview during the previous game, so I wanted to open on, well, that was an easy series, but then everything changed. So can you explain the shift in the series from game 1 and 2 to the last two? Abedago.
After game 2, we felt pretty confident that we were going to take the series, and then pretty easy. And then in third game, we kind of just saw that we can still lose, and they're not bad. And then they played that late game comp, and we choked a bit, I think. So we lost game 3, and then into game 4, we just went with a bit of a risky plan, but it worked out.
So I want to follow up on this. You came in today thinking Vitality was bad?
They just didn't have that good performances in the past weeks. So that's the where I'm taking it from.
I'm joking mostly, but thank you for answering this one. Ignar, now I want to run a few questions about picks during this series. In the last game, you left Yuumi open. I guess you knew that they were going to pick Garen with Yuumi. So were you okay laning against that?
We had to choose between Volibear or Rakan, because Volibear is obviously good against Yuumi. So if they go Yuumi with normal AD, then I go Volibear and just try to kill them. But I watched the playoff yesterday, and against Garen Yuumi, Volibear looks really bad. So I just choose to go Rakan and just roaming play, you know. So it was work, yeah.
What do you think about the Garen Yuumi bot lane? Because to be fair, from a viewer's perspective, I think it's boring.
You mean, what do you think me about Garen Yuumi? I don't think it's good, to be honest, but I don't think it's kind of hard to punish. So if they make a lot of mistake bot player, then maybe Garen Yuumi is more safety, because it's really tanky, so it's really hard to kill them.
All right, well, thank you for these insights. Now, moving back to game 1. They went for a double smite mid and jungle. Is this something you were expecting from them?
I mean, it's Vitality, so you can expect some kind of unconventional cheese strategy or something. So we weren't too surprised that they're doing something like this. But yeah, we just came into the game with a clear mind and played against it.
But then the game after this one, you see, was it Alistar, I think? So I guess you knew they wanted to pair the Alistar with the Swain, because you insta-ban Swain when we never see the champion. So did you know this was coming as well?
I mean, we knew that Attila is also kind of a mage player, or he tries, or he also likes to play stuff like that. So we thought it can be good into what we had.
Right. As Abedago said, it's hard to prep against Vitality because they cheese sometimes, especially in game, level 1 and stuff like that. So tell me about the preparation you guys went through this week to be ready today.
I mean, obviously, what our pair was if they don't try cheese pick or cheese plan, then they can't win. It was our plan. So people first game, we just said oh, they will cheese, they will cheese. So we just had perfect plan, kind of where do I ward, where do you ward, like this. So just, I mean,
and playing by the books, as you guys usually do.
Easy to predict. Yeah.
All right. Now I wonder, because we didn't see many games on this new patch, especially competitively. So how do you prep based on a patch you never saw on stage?
I mean, you just read the patch and start playing and look at other regions. And wait, maybe I misunderstood the question.
No, it's exactly what I meant. I mean, taking examples.
There wasn't too much changes,
regions.
Just nerfs on Azir, Corki, so you're not sure going into. We didn't know how good they were now, and we didn't play too much Corki, for example, before, so we weren't sure is it worth to even pick it up now. And then we just went on stage and drafted.
Well, sounds easy. I mean, we should all do that, I guess. Moving to the new series now, you will be facing Rogue. I want to know, what did you think about this series yesterday? Everybody was expecting Splice to take it, so Ignar, what did you think about Rogue taking it 3-0 yesterday?
Everyone said Splice will just crush them, but I knew Rogue will play good, because when we play against them in practice game or something, they playing really good, kind of. So, and then they have their play style, and they are kind of aggressive. So, I mean, just Rogue is good team, but if he prepare draft well, then I think we can easily beat them.
All right. Did you learn anything from the series you saw yesterday, even though it was a massive stomp?
I don't think so.
No?
I mean, I just learned.
Usually watching a team is...
I don't know, like, just being like not too nervous in a series, like stuff like that, but not really in-game anything, I think.
All right. Well, final question then. I guess you'll be ready to face Rogue last week.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good matchup against them. Like the last game we had against them in regular split, we kind of entered it.
That's a tendency we have in Europe.
So I think that doesn't show like the exact like strength level between us and Rogue. So I think we have a good shot.
Ignar, any predictions on your game against Rogue next week?
You mean like prediction? Like how we win like 3v1?
How strong are you going to beat them?
How strong?
Yeah. Are you going to beat them? Yeah.
3-0? 3-1? 3-1?
3-1?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a confident 3-1. Then I guess we can head over to post-game lobby to wrap up the week. Take it away, Shox.
Thank you very much, Laura, and welcome to the post-game lobby. I'm Shox, and I'm joined here by Ender, by Upset, and by Odoamne after being victorious over Vitality, and now they're qualified for the second round of the playoffs. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And welcome to PGL. Upset, we know that you were a bit sick this week, so yeah, how are you feeling today, and how do you feel about the series overall?
Yeah, I was feeling good going into the series because our team has been playing really well in practice, and I felt really confident in all of my teammates that they will perform well today. So I didn't feel too much pressure on me that I had to like carry the games or something. And even though I was sick when I was on stage, actually I just played through it, even though it was a bit more exhausting than usual, and I wanted to end the series as fast as possible.
I was really sweating.
We kind of failed to do that in game 3. So yeah, I mean, I was okay.
I've always been interested, yeah.
This guy, he's like, just like after the game, he's like, guys, I feel like I can't talk anymore soon because I'm sick, so let's just end it now. And then we lose, and I'm like,
oh no.
I hope we can keep going.
I've always wondered about that because when it comes to kind of being on air, if you feel like a bit ill or something's not completely right, once you get in the zone, that kind of falls away from you. Is that also the case for you guys? Except maybe when your voice disappears, you can't really stop that.
Yeah, I think it really depends how sick you are because, for example, last summer split when we played the finals, afterwards Nukta got really sick and he was like so sick that he couldn't even talk on stage for the game that would give us the worlds. So it just depends how sick you are, I guess. But yeah, with the adrenaline you don't feel it like during the game, but after the game you feel like really exhausted and you have to like fuel up on energy again.
Yeah, and then they ask you to be on PGL and you're like, oh, God, I need to do that. So thank you
sure.
so much for that. Odoamne, can you give me your TLDR of the series? Why were you stronger than Vitality today?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I just think our mid jungle were really, really smurfing this series, and they have better AD carry player for sure. And they kind of...
Talk me through this.
Okay, I mean...
Okay.
They're really trolling.
We scrimmed the team, I can't reveal who, but every game was like... Actually, 50% of games were decided like level 1. So we had so much practice. Like, we knew if they come, we just play on our range. And luckily, I got a triple kill. So
You were Caitlyn too. So.
Thanks to the team. Yeah, I mean, it didn't end so well for them. But I couldn't like play as aggressive as I wanted for most of the laning, because they actually needed 2 junglers to keep us down. but it didn't really help in the end if I got a triple kill level 1.
Yeah, they kept bringing like Jizuke down to the bottom lane trying to make a play happen. And then you guys just counter ganks like every single
Yeah, or kill them 2v3 under their tower. Was nice.
It seemed pretty rough because this is a strategy I think where you're supposed to be ahead in experience, and Jizuke was just like permanently down 2 levels the entire game. So it was a rough way to start it off for Vitality.
Yeah, definitely the first one was kind of... Yeah, is there a danger when the first game goes so easy, Odo, that you kind of get out of your rhythm and think you have it before you do? Because I feel like the series got more difficult progressively.
Yeah, well, it's easy to be like, oh, they gave us a free win, so it's going to be super easy. But we told each other that they just gave us 3 kills at level 1 for free, and we shouldn't get complacent and think that it's going to be an easy series, because they kind of proved it to us that the series got like harder and harder as the games went on. But I think we kept into it pretty well.
How did you like Mordekaiser duty?
Well, I did get like 8 top laners removed every game, so I kind of had to dig deep into what I want to play.
But we are kind of lucky because Odo's actually the best Mordekaiser in the world, so
And the only
maybe they
one?
should ban this instead.
And the only one, yeah.
That's true.
Well, I think it's an okay pick. Obviously game 3 didn't go as well because I played against Olaf sometimes in this matchup, but I kind of forgot that he's like an Olaf one-trick in the sense that he can just pick it up out of nowhere. So yeah, I think that's something I didn't keep track of, and I think if it was a different matchup, it would have been okay.
But were you? This is funny because in the skit we recorded about the therapy and stuff. You guys had the fake discussion about the resources and
Fake?
Upset needing
Wait,
all
I
the
thought that was real.
It wasn't really fake.
Well, I just didn't want to give anyone insight into your team issues, but Upset getting all the resources and you having
We
to
solve it now. Like now, all
is
the
it solved?
resources go into mid.
Yeah, so none of us win.
Now
It's,
me and Odo are friends because
yeah.
our jungle is
Abadaga
only
gets
going mid.
everything.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Abadaga this series. He played so well.
Yeah, I think like what he has been showing us in scrims for a long time was basically this Abadaga, and I think now that it's a best of 5, he maybe feels less pressure to perform. Because in the best of 1 there's a lot more pressure. Like what if you just misplay one thing, then the whole game can snowball. But he's actually like super good on all the flex OP assassin champs like Akali, Sylas, Kiana. And today I think he really showed it and pulled his weight like a lot.
Yeah, do you think the meta shift is working out really well for him? Is that giving your team a boost?
Yeah, sure. I think so. But he was actually like quite good Azir as well. So I think he's just like developing into a versatile. Oh, don't show this.
this is a bit tragic.
Into a versatile mid laner. Yeah.
Yeah, this is tragic.
Actually, let's see what Kiana
Odo's
does.
still
Let's see
alive.
what Kiana
Oh,
does.
there was actually.
Okay, let's look
I
at
think
Kiana.
I
Now they're all dead, but they're not anymore.
I called
Why
here,
ult to the right there? Right against the wall.
but I called here take the wave, but I'm like trolling myself. I should have just taken
This
the
is
wave.
slick though.
Yeah, I mean now Jizuka is like calculating my crit percentage, so he knows he can like just walk up here, because he should die here. I think like I played
Yeah.
so well. Like,
No, it's actually
like
like
I
the hex
sidestep
drinker too.
everything. I have
Yeah.
PD up still. But okay.
Well,
They
that
cut
never
away.
happened.
Yeah,
You were
okay, good.
alive. That's what
Fine, you
happened.
lived.
And this is the series in a nutshell, kind of like we just go mid with our champs and they like kind of outplay it. Actually, this one was really
No,
close.
actually, this one was pretty
actually
sick.
kill you.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
close.
He should have stunned him maybe.
Yeah.
No, watch it. Watch
Wait,
it. Splash
look,
the wall and
look,
then
look.
misses the E.
Look, look, look.
Oh!
And now Abadaga keeps
They
going.
took Mowgli kind of off his comfort champs. I feel like they tried to like play more like we
I
do.
like how Abe queued the other way.
Oh,
For sure.
oh,
I mean,
actually,
remember Abe did this against them in Spring,
yeah.
Yeah,
with
but
Yasuo?
usually isn't
Yeah, he
Abba
entered like
has doesn't he have a reputation of dying under the enemy's tower? So now
Yes,
this,
yes.
he's like
Yeah, but
reverse card.
that was Abe in Memento. It was like a synergy buff, you know?
yeah. Brother Mowgli paid us back this game. Actually, here I should probably go on the Jace too.
I thought Jace would just die here, so I just go for the
I
cat.
thought so too.
Like,
I've never-
I don't get I don't get to kill the
The
cat
flash
often.
was so bad actually. Oh no.
This is great because usually we just play this as kind of like, you know,
Oh, okay, we
background
don't
stuff.
wanna
No,
talk
this is
about this?
awesome. No, it's perfect. Keep talking about it.
Yeah, I'm sweating at this. Pressing A. Oh, shut up.
So hard. So hard. There we go.
So much damage, actually.
Well, it's his last game, so you actually already won it at this point. You're just going to go in for the final.
Yeah, you're level 18, Kai, so no one
Yeah.
can stop you now.
Yeah, the Garen Yumi got outscaled. It
I'm
seems.
level 17, so I guess therapy worked. He got more than me.
Upset, you've been playing out of your mind. I mean, the Caitlyn game notwithstanding, but things are going well. How do you feel about your form for the rest of playoffs?
I think this meta is like perfect for me actually. I have many champs I can always pick and I'm always really comfortable on. And I think the support meta is something I'm really comfortable on too, because it's like a lot of engage melee champs that I just know how to play with really well, and Igna knows how to play them really well too. So yeah, I'm definitely really confident going into playoffs, being able to play all these fun champs.
You're also the Kia player of the game series. There were 4 games. Upset 50% of the votes. Not great, not terrible. 50% is not like the highest we've ever seen, but you know, congratulations.
I guess, yeah.
I guess no, completely deserved, of course. Ender, do you want to talk us through what is at the end of the season for Vitality? They cannot make it to the regional qualifier, are now out of playoffs. Where did they falter?
I mean, I think this team, like, they got off to a rough start, right?
Yeah.
0-4 start to the summer split after, even spring disappointing for them too. It was overall a very disappointing year for a team that had made it to Worlds last year and put on a good performance there, taking down RNG. I think this team fixed a lot of their problems throughout the split. I was impressed to see a lot of their growth on it. But for a team that I think is very momentum-based, to have that slide the last couple weeks during the season, I think we saw that again here today where, you know, it started off poorly. Yes, they won that one game, but this could have easily been a series that ended 3-0, and I think that they're going to want to do some changes and try to figure things out for 2020.
Odo, what do you think? Why didn't it work?
I mean, it's rough. They just have this specific playstyle that they had since like last year, and they bought Mowgli in, and it was an improvement at first, but then their old flow just kind of came back, and I don't know. I just think they're skipping a lot of steps with the way they want to play. They were really linear, at least in spring, because they were just doing the top play over and over and over again, and it just never felt like they knew all the steps to play like clean macro and stuff like that, and they were just relying on this specific play working every time. And once you didn't give them the play, they kind of struggled to find alternatives. So I think that's kind of what happened this split as well. They never really found something that works for them consistently.
And now I feel like they shifted their play style more to the like more standard play style where you try to just like play a more slow game with scaling champs, but maybe their players are like not that good for it. I think like the strengths of somebody like Attila maybe is like the first like 7 minutes of the game, but after this I think most ADs in the league will like outscale him kind of. So maybe they went away from what like made them really strong, but also the stuff they play now, they don't play it bad. Like it was kind of a close series, but they're just not like the best at it.
Yeah, it's almost like there was a band-aid because the rest wasn't working anymore as it was, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, the team play didn't seem like it was all the way there for this squad. It's like a lot of individuals, players like really trying to step up in a lot of their games. Sometimes that would bite them because you'd have players like Jack, Troll, Mowgli going too far forward when the rest of the team can't hope to follow them up. So it's plays like that where they're really trying hard individually to make it happen, but it has to be cohesive in order to work.
Yeah, as we move on, we're going to take a look at the playoff bracket. With Schalke 04's win, of course, Splice are locked into the regional qualifiers. So you actually made, by knocking out Vitality, that Splice gets a chance at the regional qualifiers, which they will thank you for, hopefully. But it also means that you guys go to the second round. You'll be playing Rogue, and then G2 versus Fnatic is also next week. So let's start with Schalke 04 versus Rogue. First off, I guess you didn't expect to be playing Rogue, or did you?
To be honest, I kind of was expecting it because I think Splice was like on a downward trend in the past 2 weeks even. I think they lost to teams like Misfits and they went even 0-2 in the last week. So I wasn't too confident in Splice being strong when playoff starts. But on the other hand, I saw Rogue, like especially their solo lanes, getting much more into their form maybe. And they're like quite good on the meta champs, I think. So I was thinking Rogue was going to be like a stronger match. Stronger team going into the series, actually.
Is it a dangerous opponent because they've been ramping up, and we were surprised already by the level they showed versus Splice, even though Splice made a lot of mistakes, but it seems to me it's quite tricky to kind of think what they're going to show versus you in that best of 5.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think they're like a weak team, but I think Splice like wasn't that strong and they underperformed, and Rogue played like decent, but it wasn't like a super dominant showing where we're like really scared not to play Rogue. I think it will be a good series versus them. But if we get what we want, I think we will do really well.
Odo?
Yeah, it's like Elias said, just Splice was on a downward spiral, and I still thought that Splice would win, but Rogue just kind of stepped up, and they've been showing really consistent and good play over the past couple of weeks. So at the end, I think Rogue just really deserved it, and I'm not too scared. I mean, I'm not really scared of Rogue at all, pretty much.
It's just realistic, right?
Well, it's kind of realistic, but it was also realistic that Splice would beat Rogue. That's what everyone thought. So
yeah.
We're not disrespecting them. I think they're pretty good, but I'm just really confident that if our prep goes well and we get what we want, we can beat them pretty hard.
Yeah, it seems to me that you are a perfect best of 5 team in terms of you put a lot of focus into preparation, into planning, and how to play the game. We always describe you as like a well-oiled machine, as a team that likes to play the game the correct way, but is still quite aggressive when needed. Would you say how good do you think you are at team fighting when you compare yourself to the other teams in the league? I only say this because some of our analysts think you may be the best.
I think our team fights are really good right now. We stopped taking bad fights a really long time ago, ever since Trick kind of joined in. Before that, we would fight for random reason, for objectives we didn't really need to, or just, fight just for the sake of fighting. So I think now we are at the point where we recognize good fights really, really well, and we just avoid the bad fights. So that's why you see us most of the time taking good fights. But yeah, sometimes teams find a good engage against us, like we saw in Game 3 against Vitality, the last fight of the game. But most of the time, our ideas for why we're fighting and where to fight are really good thanks to the coming of Trick.
And I think also that in this meta, like in the past, we have been playing more to, like especially in the first few weeks, much more to like scale up more and play these safe champs that are good like at all stages of the game. But in this meta, it seems to be more important to like be able to find a good fight with your champs at more points of the game. Because, like you saw in this game, for example, the last one, we had Kiana Gragas and they had so much playmaking, so we could like force so many fights. And I think what makes our team fighting really strong is that we have like Igna Trick, who are really good at finding engages. And I think Abe is playing team fight super well on these champs too. And Odo really understands well like when to go for the backline and when to like be the frontline for me. And I play team fights well too, so I think it's just well-oiled machine at this point, how we fight.
Exactly. The team fights look super slick.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because I feel like team fighting now is almost harder than it's ever been, like the last year or so, because of the meta. It's not like you have a tank front line and your AD carries, and it's just about like keeping those guys alive in order to win. It's a lot more with champions like Kai'Sa in the meta, like jumping into the enemy backlines, much more assassins. It's a lot harder, and you have the ability to be a lot more creative in how you approach team fights. So it's always interesting to see how like a player like Ignar comes around on a Rakan to make that happen, or Abadage on a Kiana or a Kali. There's all these new opportunities, I think, that really give you time to shine when the 5v5
Has it become, it's always difficult for a marksman or an AD carry because obviously you're always being singled out by the enemy team, but has it become even harder with the new champions and the things they do?
I mean, on one hand, for sure, because I felt like in the past, if you don't do a mistake, you will probably like not die if your teammates around here are not like inting, and it will much more depend like where you are on the map and how you are playing. For example, last summer split, where I was playing like with Cho'Gath, Braum, Sejuani every game, the game is much different, and I only die if I do a mistake. But now it feels like even if I do like not really a mistake, the enemy champ can kill me. So it's super important that like my solo lanes, or I mean right now mostly our mid laner, is playing these champs, that he like does the same thing to the enemy AD, because otherwise, you can't always survive as AD carry now. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, fantastic point. So Andrew, what's your predictions for Schalke versus Rogue? It's so difficult. Like,
It's really hard. So here's the thing. I've been voting against Rogue for like the whole split, let's be honest. And I've got to finally give Rogue a chance. I was really impressed with how they played up against Splice. I'm going to give Rogue the edge. And I know as soon as I say that, Rogue are going to lose, because the second you believe in them...
I'm just going to tell you this, because I feel the same way. But when they played Splice, we said bot lane difference, right?
Sure.
Vander's amazing. Vander and Woolite together, not as good as Kabi, right? And Norscairn. Turned out that wasn't the case, and Norscairn didn't have a good series. Vander and Woolite both played amazing. Upset an Ignar versus Woolite and Vander.
I think definitely bot lane difference there. I'm going to give you guys a hint now. Probably ban the Garen of the Yuumi.
Wait, you mean bot lane difference in what way?
Oh, for you guys.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say, ban like the anti-fun bot lane, and probably going to have a good time.
I don't think it's that good, but yeah. Maybe we ban it.
Oh, that's dangerous thinking, Upset.
See, that's interesting, because when I was watching this game, I was like, wow, you guys really aren't focusing that bottom lane. It seems like hard, like smash that bottom lane aimed really well, and then you guys died 2v2 to the Garen.
I mean,
so
this was like so tragic, because I was like, Rakan landed his Q, and I was like running towards him, but he was running away from me. So Yuumi ate me one more time, and then he missed this ignite too. But I mean, maybe you guys like should think like, why would you put Garen with Yuumi? Because Garen is like super tanky, and it's hard to make a play on him. So why would you try to focus the Garen if you can just pick a AD carry that outscales and have your support roaming the whole time? And our support was like such a broken champ too, right? So maybe you don't have to play to kill the Garen Yuumi, like a tip for other teams. And maybe just go mid and kill the mid laner, because most of the time the mid jungle that is getting kills will win the game. But yeah,
okay,
that's just the idea.
Production, let's just we're going to cut this piece of video. We're going to keep it. Next week, when they pick Garen and Yumi, and perhaps they win a game versus upset, we're just going to play that. Can we?
I mean, it
That's
still
okay.
depends what happens in the mid lane, right?
Yeah, of course. And like,
Blame the mid laner. Okay.
No, I give him praise if it went like my mid lane I carried last game, for example.
it's also silly because that's the same thing people blame us for. They're like, oh, why would you say anything, right? Upset. So I respect you for coming out and saying we can beat it. We said Rogue was going to lose 3-0 to Splice anyway.
Yeah, you know, I voted for
it's
that.
where it is.
So.
A question about kind of how the black bracket is playing out because it's been 3-0 and it looked like it would be a pretty easy 3-0, but it was 3-1 in the end. And people are saying, okay, that could be an indication of the teams that are in the second round are really stacked, or it could be an indication of none of the playoff teams so far are looking good. Odo.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it like that, but you can also think there's like a stylistic mismatch between the teams. For example, I think we match against Rogue way better than we did against Vitality because champion pools are kind of like similar. And I just think individually we just outclass them as players. But, I mean, looking at Rogue and Splice, I just think Splice really dropped the ball. And I think they were a really good team, but maybe they just had a bad day and stuff like this. But if you look at the whole split as a whole, you would have said that there's a clear top 4 and everyone else is kind of middle of the pack and everyone can make playoffs. So you could argue that you know, the middle of the pack teams like SK, Misfits, Vitality, and Rogue are kind of like the same level. And I think that's fair. I think the top 4 were clearly better than the middle of the pack. I would have thought that Splice was also better than Rogue, but Splice dropped the ball. So I think the statement kind of still stands. I still think that we're a better team than Rogue and we're going to beat them next week.
When you look at G2 and Fnatic, how far do you think Schalke is away from G2 and from Fnatic?
I think we are pretty close to Fnatic, probably. But I think Rogue is like not necessarily far away from Fnatic too. I think Fnatic.
Are we overvaluing Fnatic?
No, I think they're a good team, but maybe us and Rogue are like just not bad. I think. But G2, but G2 is like probably like a step above. But I don't know like in what form they are in right now because obviously in the last week of summer, like even we beat them. And it was like
hey, you guys aren't bad though.
Yeah, that's true. It was kind of a stop, but who knows how good G2 is right now, right? So if they will be in form, probably they will be a really dominant team again to face. But if they like maybe something happened, then it could be worse. But I would still think G2 is the best team, and then Fnatic. But Rogue and Schalke can definitely like challenge Fnatic, I think.
Super exciting if it comes to that. Of course, we also have the Fnatic versus G2 matchup next week. We'll have Rogue playing Schalke 04. Just have to remember there, of course, Rogue not Splice. The reality has still not set in. Rogue is up versus Schalke 04 next week. And Fnatic is up versus G2. Of course, in this new system, this is the first time they meet. They might end up meeting again in the finals. Can I get a quick prediction from Fnatic G2, Odo?
G2... Oh, I would say 3-0, but it could also go 3-1. But I think G2 will win convincingly.
I think 3-1 as well.
Okay, Ender?
I'm going to go 3-0. G2 are the best team. Come on.
Okay, great. That's building absolute hype for that match. No, I think you're kind of trolling if you don't think that G2 is the stronger team and if you don't think that they will show up very strong in a best of 5. However, I have hopes that Fnatic can make it a competitive best of 5 and if they meet again as well. Or you can meet G2 or Fnatic in the final. This is now coming very close. If you win the next best of 5, you will be in the regional qualifier no matter what. So even if you then go out of the playoffs, you can play for Worlds. And I just wanted to gauge as to kind of how the hope is and kind of the want to get back to Worlds, because I know you for going back, that's been something you've been chasing for a while. And Upset, of course, you want to get there. So how's the stress levels pertaining to getting to Worlds?
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
Well, throughout the split, since I was playing not so great at some points and the morale of the team wasn't really that high, I wasn't really that hopeful that we can make it this year as well. Like, obviously, last year with Splice, I failed, and I was really, really disappointed because it was the first time I missed Worlds. Actually, no, it was second time because you missed the HTK as well, so never mind that. But I think now, when the split is coming to an end, the pieces are kind of falling in together for us. We're kind of finding our groove, and the way we want to play. And I think, as we pointed out earlier, we're kind of a well-oiled machine in the sense that we have a lot of synergy going on. So yeah, I think I'm really hopeful now. I think with this band of players that we have right now, we can make it really far, and I think we can challenge G2, and I think we can also just win the gauntlet.
Upset.
Yeah, I think definitely the past few weeks have been quite good for us, and also have been quite bad for other teams, because obviously it's like easier to think that you are going to qualify to Worlds if there's like not like a really strong Splyce and a really strong Origin. But Rogue is like looking not bad, so I wouldn't think like too far ahead. But obviously, I think our goal was always to go to Worlds. Like that should be the goal at least. We don't want to aim too low and then just like drop out. We all want to get to the highest level again, or not again, but. So yeah, I think right now we are like in a good state, and we will see versus Rogue next week, right? How good we actually are.
You corrected yourself, the highest level again. You played the final of the then EULCS last year, right? You're definitely at a high level. It's almost like you caught yourself. Do you mean like if you haven't performed at Worlds, you're not the highest level?
I just never played like international except like a random IEM when I was like 16. So I didn't really play versus like the best teams from other regions. But obviously, being in Europe, I still get to face like a lot of good teams and like G2 or Fnatic and stuff. So I'm definitely playing at a high level, but
for sure.
I never played like internationally
at
the
Odo
Worlds.
isn't playing at a high level. Is that what you meant?
No, that's not.
Okay.
I feel like
there needs to be some counseling sessions again.
I'm kidding. Oh no, I'm gonna get the Shock Flames everyone again. But no, Odo, we're just joking around. We've known each other for a while.
Yeah, as long as we use I feel statements, everything is okay.
Okay, I feel like I'm sorry, and I shouldn't have said that. From my side, though, when I look at the teams, well, Upset, I would find it a shame if you don't get to play at Worlds or an international tournament in the next couple of years. I think you're playing so incredibly well. When I look at the playing field, Ender, Schalke would probably be a good representative for Europe at Worlds. Who would you say out of the pool you would see at Worlds?
I mean, I say definitely right now. I mean, the best news for Schalke that ever happened was to see the results yesterday when Splyce went out, because I think everyone sort of had this impression that it was going to be G2, Fnatic, Splyce pretty locked in for Worlds. That's how the regular season went. That's what everyone was expecting. Yeah. So to see Splyce actually fall down and then Schalke also come in and play good League of Legends today, I think that gives you a lot of faith for this squad.
What about the EU tradition of rookies?
Yeah.
Rookie mids.
They're pretty good. It looks
rookie
like.
mids? No, I was talking about Rogue.
Oh, you're talking about
But I also felt like, I mean, maybe that's like the broadcast perspective on Splyce, but I was like kind of hoping we would get 5th or 6th to play with Splyce, because I think we would like do quite well with them. And I was more worried about Origin getting their stuff together.
Yeah.
And being like strong for the gauntlet, which could still happen. But right now it looked like Origin, something is just like really broken inside of the team. So yeah, it looks kind of good for us. I think if we beat Rogue, we have like a really clear chance to go to Worlds.
Hey, I think it looks good for you as well. But the gauntlet, it's such a it's such a, everything's on the line, and things never go the way you think they should go, right? And remember also G2 just running the gauntlet in 2018 and then just making it somehow to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, because you remember G2 got 3-0'd by Misfits in the quarterfinals last summer.
Yeah.
And do you know what happened?
Splyce got 3-0'd by Rogue. I'm just saying, don't let it happen again.
Yeah.
The mental.
But I mean, I also kind of hope that like Riot doesn't make a buff where suddenly like Aatrox and Irelia, Akali are like super OP. Like, because the buff, I think it helped G2 so much because their top side was already really strong, but their bot lane was kind of their weak point, and everyone was playing around bot in the like playoffs meta. But then if you like don't have enough time to prepare, and we pick like Maokai into Aatrox, it kind of caught off us guard.
I mean, your Kaisa and your Xayah are in a good place.
That's true.
That's good.
He's saying he doesn't want them to get nerfed.
Yeah, it's the meta right now can stay the same for now.
Okay, well, for the whole playoffs, at least it's the same. So
yeah.
I've got good news for you too. They did their big like Worlds patch, I think 9.15. So everything should be like smaller changes.
Actually, I saw Lucian is getting buffed too as well.
Go.
So it's gonna be a good patch for me. I think.
Fun. Okay, before we move on, we're going to take a look at the Alienware big plays of this weekend. Starting with yesterday, Rogue's mid laner Larson popped off in a huge upset. He's right here against Splyce.
The fog of war, but enough vision there to stop this. Larson now going in fishing for the 1v1 against Huberto, and he's going to get it. First blood!
Mid lane, Vander gets hooked.
Now the engage, Vander very much in trouble. A lot of damage goes down onto him, but once again, Larson the man you have to keep your eyes on, trying to chase down, looking for Xerxes, is going to get the kill. Finn now on the hunt, has the reset. Kave is going to get pulled back. Infernal Chains will find him, but no, Kave still trying to survive. It will not be enough. Larson on a rampage.
Wait. Do we start? I think started. Nar is far.
I can go flank.
I'm trying.
I have packers, so if you go flank, I can go hard.
I mean, I'm behind them, look.
Hey, we can.
Hey, look, I can look.
Go here.
Look, trees.
Tillsammans där.
Bra. Look here.
Follow up.
I killed Gragas. I killed
Akali is
Gragas.
dying to package.
Akali no.
Hey, can we end mid?
Go mid.
Go mid. Yes, 40 seconds. Go.
Get the wave.
Yeah, we're mountain.
Oh, I love it. Inspired. Just yell. And remember, in the interview with Laurie, it was like so calm.
Yeah, I think that was actually Larson too.
Oh, was it?
No, it was Larson calling for support for Vander to
Yeah.
actually get that recon flank at the end. So
Yeah.
clutch, because that was like the team fight winner.
It's
right
crazy. I don't know about you guys, but if it was me, I wouldn't want to be going up against those hungry rookies in a best of 5. Just kidding. Next up, continuing the trend of being the only major region to play Garen, we saw Rogue pull it off, showing us the speedy cat meow.
Finn, quick dash over the wall, buying as much time as he can. 3K and dropping. They're not going to be able to get into the pit. They have to pick one or the other. Xerxes, desperate, knows he needs to make his way into the pit now. 15K, getting lower and lower. Can he make
Oh, he blocked it!
Over. Woolite with the hero play to turn it. He denies entry into the pit. He takes Xerxes' life, and that's the Baron for Rogue.
Ranked on TP.
Should I flash through the wall?
Fine.
And the Nash. Look at Silas.
2.5.
Where's Silas?
Here.
End it.
I will silence him. Okay.
Okay, nice. He can't join.
And then.
Nice.
Okay, we back now.
Back.
But we can help him.
We are back. We are fine.
Holy
We can run to Drake, okay? We'll run to
I
Drake
can base
now.
have TP,
Okay, we have TP right? No,
No,
but
no.
we can just run.
Oh, I love it. He was so happy with himself, Woolite. The camera was just like, did you see that? Did you see that?
He's like, I did that. I did Garen mechanics.
Sick. I like it so hard. No, just kidding. Great job, Woolite, and great job, Rogue, overall. But an Alienware big play from today. Schalke 04's upset started the series off with a very difficult, very mechanical triple kill from the Sheriff of Piltover.
Schalke going low, Trick having to flash away, and now having to run away. Mowgli, oh, you see the damage coming down onto him already. Vitality looking for the traces, Jizuka hits level 2, but Jactron's so low. And Agi going in, Odo flashing forward. Cabo trying to bring the hammer down, but upset goes one more. It's a double for the Caitlyn, and Vitality are falling to pieces. This could be it. This could be the series defined at level 1.
Yeah.
Look at it. Scrapes. Nice.
Keep going.
Let's go.
I'm in it.
Yeah.
I hit it. Back. Slowly.
I'm chilling.
I'm fine.
Look at Kartus.
Kartus. Chase.
Nice.
Did he say I'm chilling?
Yeah, he said I'm chilling.
He's chilling
I'm chilling.
because he had no E.
So how hard was it?
This triple kill?
Yeah.
Not that hard.
It was a timing game, right? Just get the last
Yeah.
two.
Like,
getting
but it
last
takes
it was-
forever, though, that you can auto-attack.
Yeah,
It was
So
really
you're like,
ballsy though.
oh.
You flashed in 1v3
Yeah.
and you survived and you got the kill.
Yeah,
True.
that was sick. Great
Crazy.
stuff. Yeah. Rome was going to sign off, but congratulations, of course, also on the great games. But coming up next, we'll have the LCS third place match from Detroit Clutch Gaming versus Counter Logic Gaming. Quick prediction from the panel, Ender?
It's Tanner time.
Great.
Who's CLG?
Versus
Clutch
Clutch.
Gaming?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I don't know. Whatever.
okay.
One of them has an L in their name. That's not the one that's going to win.
3-2 CLG.
Are you saying Clutch Gaming does not have an L in there?
I don't know.
CLG is going to take the L. CG isn't.
That's fair.
That's high
okay,
quality
actually, I changed my
analysis.
prediction. Clutch Gaming 3-1.
There we go.
Because they don't have a...
Flash him in 3-1, I guess.
Okay, there we go. Very
It's the Huni
excited
effect.
here.
Hold
True.
on.
They have to ban us Rumble.
These are
Like your
the
Rumble.
least excited predictions I've ever seen. I'm hyped
I mean,
about
who
it.
watches NA?
It's
actually-
NA, it's
A
kind of
lot
boring.
of people watch it. Plus, it's going to be hype. Plus, we still need to know who's going to Worlds from LCS. So I'm hyped. And on that note, we're going to sign off.
Good for you.
Goodbye, everyone at home. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next
Thanks
week
for having us.
Thanks
for
for
the
having
next
us.
best of 5. And Ender, yeah, you did well, I guess. Bye.
See you, nerd.
That's so toxic.
Schalke going low, Trick having to flash away, and now having to run away. Mowgli, oh, you see the damage coming down onto him already. Vitality looking for the traces, Jizuka hits level 2, but Jactron's so low. And Agi going in, Odo flashing forward. Cabo trying to bring the hammer down, but upset goes one more. It's a double for the Caitlyn, and Vitality are falling pieces. This could be it. This could be the series defined at level 1. Trick down, 2 down, Vitality fighting back. It's 3. Vitality find it. All on the back of Jizuke. Attila still putting the damage out. Oh, just give it to them. Just take it all. Abinage tries to trade in. Jizuke caught out. Oh, Abinage. Is he going to be able to do it? Jizuke trying to take this one. Oh, it's Abinage. Vitality fought to the last man, but it was Abinage and Schalke who stood up stronger. Upset there to follow as well, but already 2 more kills come out for Vitality, and now Upset has to run. He jumps onto the back line. He takes out Mowgli. That was beautiful from Upset. Way Vitality fighting back. Their backs against the wall. They found the play. They found the picks, and Vitality will not go quietly into the night. Here comes Abinage looking for the supreme display of talent. They land the stun. Jizuke falls to Upset, who dives onto the back line, and now it's all on Cabochard. He has to do something. He has to turn this fight around. Jackshot trying to get there in time. He's being fought off by Odo. Ignar just about survives, but Cabochard takes down 1. Upset's picked up a triple, and the Void Seeker will find its mark. 1 more shot, 1 more auto will be enough on Cabochard, and there is no hope left. There is not a man that can survive that. Vitality fall, Schalke clean them, and Schalke book their spot against Rogue next week.